Hey, visionaries! You are now tuned in to the Starts with a Vision podcast, where everything you do in life starts with a vision. If your vision is clear or foggy, you are in the right place. It's time to go take what's yours, because there's a vision only you can see, and a dream only you can dream. And now, your host, Mr. Starts with a Vision.
What is going on, guys? This is Mr. Starts with a Vision, man. Isaiah Fowler, a.k.a. Mr. SWAV. And I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, man. If you want to reach out, if you need anything, look, shoot me a text, 678-841-7928. I just have to express that gratitude, and I want to let you know that. I want to know where you're listening from, okay? I want to know who you are, where you listening from, and all that other good stuff. So, with that being said, man, we gonna hop into today's show. I am just so thankful to be able to be in a position to pour into you, to add value to your life, man, to help transform you, help transform your mind, help keep you on the right path. I am very, very thankful for that, and I don't take that for granted at all. And that's why I go so hard, man, 4 episodes a week, religiously, bringing them to you. No questions, no excuses, no none of that. Because you don't care about that, man. All you care about is a new episode going to be up on Monday through Thursday? That's all you care about. And I understand that. So we're going to hop into the quote of the day. And it's very simple, but I want to talk about it and I want to elaborate on it. So the quote of the day today is, think bigger, right? Think bigger. But what do I mean when I say think bigger? There is a misconception that, people have the blueprint. A lot of times you get the blueprint per se, and you're okay with just that blueprint. Somebody teaches you how to do something, and they said they made $100,000 with this method, with this strategy. So you do it, you make $80,000 and you're happy, right? But why don't you make $200,000? Why don't you make $400,000? Why don't you tweak it and make $1 million? We have to stop being so, followy with people. We have to stop worshiping another man or woman. And we have to start coming up with our own blueprints. Until we do that, we will never reach a higher level of success. We have to, and when I say have to, I mean have to. We literally have to think bigger. Why can't you be making $300,000 a month? Why can't you be making $300,000 in a couple weeks? Why can't you be closing clients for $8,000 after a 10-minute phone call? Why can't you be having programs getting sold out at $100,000, $200,000? Why not? Why not, man? We have to think bigger. We have to think bigger. We have to expand our mind. We have to expand our standards. We have to expand what we expect of ourselves. We have to expand our possibilities. You see what I'm saying? You've got to think bigger. So whatever it is that you thinking right now, I need you to think bigger. Whatever your goal was for this week, I need you to think bigger, okay? Whatever it was, I need you to think bigger. Because at the end of the day, you got one life. That's all you have is one life. I need you to think bigger. That's it. If you think bigger, your life will be so much more enriched and fulfilled, and you'll be shooting for things so much higher. I need you to think bigger. So that's the quote of the day, man. Think bigger. Stop settling for what somebody else for somebody else's blueprint. Somebody else proved that it's possible. Okay, cool. Got it. Great. But don't follow that person exactly like that. Think bigger, man. I promise you. Your life will be so much better when you think bigger. So that's the quote of the day. The topic of the day is very interesting. And, basically it's, I need you to get used to going further. But how do you do that? I have a story that I want to tell you. So this story is super important. This story happened to me a couple weeks ago. So in the morning time, when it was warmer, it's getting a little bit chilly out here in Atlanta, so I don't like doing it anymore. But in the morning time, I would go running. So I wake up at about 4:45, 4:30, eat some fruit, drink some water, wake up, get the crust out of my eyes. At about 5:30 or so, I'll go run. So I'll go run downtown. And when I first started consistently running, maybe like twice a week, I'd probably run about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, right? So I run this 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and I would walk back home. Like, I would run back home, but I would walk the last like 1/4 mile or something like that. And from this, I felt good. I was cool. And then after that, I would go to the gym and I would lift weights. Okay? So follow me on this. I did this for a couple weeks. After a couple weeks, I'm running, I'm feeling good. I say, you know what? Let me just keep going. That's it. Let me just keep going. So I kept going. And then I ended up running 2.5, 3 miles. I said, dang, I feel real good. And then I would go and lift weights again. So over the span of about 1.5 months, 2 months, I went from running 1.5 miles a day to about 4.5, 5 miles. Now, what was the difference between that 1.5 miles and that 5 miles? The difference was I just got used to going further. Because I need you to think about it. When you are used to going further and you raise your standards, you cannot go below that. Now, you can always go above it, but you cannot go below it. Now, what does this have to do with entrepreneurship? What if you're used to waking up at 7 a.m.? So you slowly start going from 7 a.m. to 6:30. You'll never go back up to 7. So you start at 6:30. A couple weeks go by. Then you start at 6. And then you're like, you know what? Waking up at 6 is pretty easy. What do you do now? You don't go back up to 7. You go up to 5:15, 5:30. And then after a good 3 to 6 months, maybe sooner, you are at what? You're waking up at 4:30, 4:45, consistently every day. You're doing what it takes to wake up that early, i.e. going to bed earlier. So you started at 7 a.m., and you got all the way down to 4:15. That's 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours or 2.5? Think about how big that is. So you got used to going further. And what is that going to do for you in your life? You getting used to going further is going to get you to a point where you're able to accomplish more. Okay? Let me give you another example. Stretching yourself. Have you ever been in a position where you never knew you could go that far? You never knew that your faith would go that far. Let me explain. So think about it. You've been through a certain situation. Let's say it's been money. You were getting clients or business. You were selling products. And then what happens? You get scared. Something happens. You lose money. Now you lose money and then what happens? You're like, oh man, the first is coming up. I don't really know. And you're getting scared. The closer it gets, you're getting nervous and you're getting nervous and you're getting nervous. And because of that, what do? You just get nervous, but you're working. And then the last minute, the 23rd hour, what happens? You get the money And now that money is able to pay that rent. You stretch yourself, but you never knew that you could stretch yourself this far. But now you know for the future. Now you know that everything is going to be okay. Because you stretched yourself. You got used to going further. Think about people who always drive on an empty tank. They know their limits to their car. They know that even if it looks like it's empty, I got a good 50 miles left to go before we really have to fill this tank up. Think about that in your life and in your business. You have to get used to going further, man. You have to get used to going further. So when you think that you're good, you need to become great. And the only way you become great is by going further. Just going a little bit harder. Take those 2 extra steps. Run a little bit faster. Lift those 2 extra weights. Read those 2 extra pages. Stay up that extra 30 minutes. Make those 2 extra phone calls for those clients. Just a little bit further. And those 2 extra phone calls is going to turn into 8. And then it's going to turn into 15. And little do you know, you're going to increase productivity, money, everything. But that will never happen if you do not get used to going further. So you've got to get used to going further. And once you get used to going further, you can't go back. You cannot go back. People do not go from eating lobster to top ramen noodles. But they go from eating noodles to lobster. Think about that. You have to get used to going further. And once you get used to going further, you're going to start going even more and more and more further. And once you do that, man, you're going to be good to go. So that's the topic, y'all. Get used to going further. And when you get used to going further, your life changes. It changes. It changes. I know it does for a fact. So that's the episode, man, the topic of the day. Hit me up, shoot me a text, let me know where you're listening from, 678-841-7928.
Thanks for listening to the Starts with a Vision podcast. Come get your vision clear at www.startswithavision.com. See you there.